Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dia, Lauren Frey, Grim Clover, Internet Bloodsport, City of Steel, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. And fuck Maximilian, dude. Holy fucking shit. This has been a thing that's been brewing on the surface for a while now because, I didn't want to call out Max Dude specifically because I feel like I didn't have enough history with the FGC. I didn't have enough history with fighting games. I didn't feel confident enough to address Max Dude's opinions on the fighting game world because I felt like relatively inexperienced. I felt like I didn't know what I was talking about. I felt like it wasn't a niche that was really worth covering. But now, now that I've kind of settled into it, I've played a lot of modern fighting games. I'm playing Tekken 7. I'm, looking forward to Tekken 8. I play Smash. I play ARMS. I play all this great stuff. Now that I've experienced the world of fighting games and have an idea of what Max Dude is and just how his opinions compare to my own, I can safely say with confidence that Max Dude is a complete and utter shill and no one should listen to him. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times a game has come out that looks absolutely terrible, and he just goes on stream. Oh man, that's the hypest thing I've ever seen. Get hype, yo. Oh man, keep those donations flowing. He is a stereotypical Twitch streamer for the fighting game community, right? It's his job to sell you on every piece of bullshit that Capcom or Namco Bandai or Arc System Works throws at you, right? It's his job to pretend that Multiversus or Nicktoons All-Star Battle Royale are in any way viable or exciting. Instead of actually playing fighting games that are actually good, that actually resonate with him, that actually get him excited. Oh man, I'm gonna shill this Multiversus thing. I'm gonna do this. It is downright disgusting. I am so done with listening to this retard try and sell me on Street Fighter 6. No, I have no optimism for Street Fighter 6 at all. After 5, I don't think anyone has any faith in the Street Fighter brand in general. That there is no recovery at this point. Really, my recommendation, if you're going to get into Street Fighter, just play Street Fighter 2. That's what I did. And then you can play the other games that are re-releasing compilations. There's no reason, fundamentally speaking, to go out and get the new Street Fighter because they can't casualize it for a casual audience because they're just going to get bodied by mainstream players. There is no reason to upgrade to a new fighting game at all. Everyone should just put out one really good $60 release like the definitive Street Fighter, the definitive Mortal Kombat, the definitive Tekken, and then just kind of leave it at that. I have no hope that any of these subsequent games are going to make the game better. In fact, what we've been seeing in recent years is that the changes they've made have been making the games worse. But because of Maximilian Dude and his tendency to shill, the general public has no idea about any of this. If you're not super attuned to this stuff, if you're not playing everything that comes out, every other video game genre ever, you're not going to know necessarily about any of this. You're not going to know that fighting games are stagnant and they're not getting better, right? Because people like Max are not telling you that. And so, I find myself, very, very disgusted with this individual in particular. I've seen him, recently shilling Yuzu, emulating every Switch game that comes out. What a fucking tool. I've seen him, promote all these bad actions, all these bad ideas. The most notorious, I think, the one that I think is getting him a lot of hate, unfortunately, in other communities is his belief that fighting games should go free to play. Yeah, how did that work for Multiversus, you dumbass? I am just downright disgusted with this guy, and I want more and more people to start calling out him and other streamers, right? Because this isn't just a Dark Side Phil thing. That's my thing. Someone brought this up, and I totally 100% agree. I might have said this myself in the past. I think I did, or something along the same lines. Darkside Phil is not an unusual streamer. Darkside Phil is the same as everyone else, in which he just sits there, plays a video game, and tells you to give him money. right? That's fundamentally not any different than what Game Grumps does, than what Max does, what Oni Plays does, what PewDiePie did, what any of these like chuckleheads have been doing for the past several years. Like these guys are not experts, okay? There's nothing about them that gives them any credibility when it comes to evaluating and reviewing games. Like the audience should be rejecting them, but I've been seeing more and more. It feels like their audience tends to religiously believe whatever these people come up with, right? Like Josh Thomas. People in his community legitimately think that like Nintendo has a problem with anime games. Is my thing broken? Oh, that's the wrong switch. People legitimately think that there's a problem with Nintendo anime games on Nintendo Switch, that we're getting too many JRPGs, which isn't the case at all. Like it's absurd to see the lengths these people will go to try and like downplay everything that comes out on Nintendo Switch. Or I suppose in Max's recent case, like downplaying the Switch itself. I don't know how common this is among streamers, but like the big thing with them right now is that they just claim they're going to emulate everything on Switch and on Yuzu, which I'm well aware is not actually possible. Yuzu has a lot of issues. I'm aware that a lot of people who tried it when Dread came out realized they couldn't save games and they were having all these game-breaking bugs and all that stuff. Like, it's better to just buy the game on Switch. The fact that there are so many people out there who insist that, oh man, Yuzu is a superior experience, like people like Max facilitate that. They downplay everything positive about the Switch right now in order to create this narrative, this fabrication that Yuzu is somehow superior, and that that he's going to legally be able to obtain. I love how he claims he's going to buy a copy of Bayonetta 3 and then still get a hold of it somehow before release date. Like that's funny to me, because you just know, like, the vast majority of these people are just pirating it. They're not buying the game. They're not like ripping the ROM or whatever they try to say they're going to do. They they have to pirate the game, because like the process of like actually legally using a game on an emulator is like too time consuming and too ridiculous compared to just pirating it. I don't like how people like Max will like honestly come out and say that like, oh man, I'm a big fan of Bayonetta, but then turn around and like endorse pirating it. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's disrespectful to Platinum Games, to Sega, and especially to Nintendo, who funded the project. You're not going to support the Switch, the platform the game released on. It feels like YouTubers are really pushing for like the Switch 2 thing. Like they really want there to be an upgraded Switch. I've been seeing this more and more. Like the Switch Pro is dead, but now like the rumor is like the Switch 2 is coming soon. I'm getting really tired of hearing about that stuff too. It's inevitably coming, but like the justification for it is that like, oh man, the Switch, the graphics aren't good. Like, what are you talking about, you son of, like, play the games. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting very, very tired of seeing people like bitch about graphics, especially in like 2022, when like all the best looking games are just terrible, right? The most realistically rendered games are just terrible. Like I've gone on record in the past couple of months talking about like how I thought 13 Sentinels was gorgeous, right? How that game had a really vibrant, colorful art style, and I don't think any of these graphics fans, these graphics fags, I should call them, because that's what they are, fags, would ever like look at or like consider that game as a visually appealing Switch game, right? Like they would write it off as just being anime, bro. Like it's ridiculous. And now just seeing them attack Bayonetta 3 again. Not even the game itself, but the hardware it's on. It's absurd. I am a big advocate for these people like getting shut down. I am getting sick of hearing about emulators and emulation and pirating games and trying to justify it. It's getting very, very, very old. All right. I don't like these people pretending they're having a better experience on emulators than they are on the actual hardware. Because if you couldn't get Dread running day one, and I'm well aware you couldn't, you're not going to get Bayonetta 3 running for sure. I don't know what is with these YouTubers. They really have to cut it out. And this is another name on my shit list. As of As of today, Max Dude is a complete parasite.